Last week we brought you our first instalment of Strongman News and you guys enjoyed it, so we're back with week number 2. Auntie Liz, what has been happening in the world of Strongman this week?
Oh, it's an exciting week because obviously we're leading into the Arnold's now just 1 week away. This time next week they'll be competing actually. So.
Yeah, Friday next week it starts, so the Arnold is coming up, but we have a competition this weekend as well to kick things off.
We do. It's the first Strongman Champions League competition of 2024 and it is Iceman, which is held in Finland. Now you've done this competition twice before, so it's been running for some time, hasn't it?
It has, it's been going for a while. You got to come and enjoy this one.
Yeah, and I did enjoy it. Lapland is a very, very beautiful part of the world, but my God, it was so cold.
It was cold.
It's a 2-day competition as well. 7 events that these guys are going to have to do, so it's really tough. Very
tough competition. It's kind of a staple on the Strongman Champions League right now, and yeah, not just tough events, but the conditions are very, very hard. Yeah. I think it was like something like minus 28 or something when I last competed in it. Hopefully it's not quite that cold for these athletes, but strong lineup, and the events include a frame carry, a front hold, a bag over bar, a truck pull. Now they do the truck pull on ice over there. Very, very important that the athletes get the right footwear. You kind of need some spikes. You can't just go with normal rock climbing boots for this one. They have a Conan's wheel, the super yoke, and the loading race. And normally the loading race at this contest is frozen blocks or like snowmen. Very awkward, having to figure out, you know, what's the best kind of way to grip these things. The strongmen need to be adapt and cope with the elements. So it's a fun one. Some great athletes lined up, including Ivor Schmackstelis, Mika Toro, Kane Francis going over, and Irvin Toits.
So next up then, this was actually announced on the Stolman's channel 2 weeks ago, but I think it's gone, it's been missed by quite a few people, where Luke Stolman explained that he's not going to be doing the Arnold's UK this year. So he was in the original lineup when it was announced, but as he explains in the video, he really wants to focus on Europe's Strongest Man and then World's Strongest Man, just had the baby as well. And the Europe's events are going to be quite similar to World's, whereas the Arnold's events are quite different.
I have to say, I think this is probably a smart choice for Luke as an athlete. We've got to think about many, many factors here. Firstly, he's just had a baby. So, you know, he doesn't want to be competing all the time.
He's postpartum.
He is postpartum. But also he's kind of, you know, late 30s now. He needs to think about where he wants to peak and which competitions mean the most to him. And I think he still wants a big performance at World's Strongest Man. He's a former Europe's Strongest Man. So the fact that he's got Europe's, it's in the UK, makes much more sense for him.
Good events for him.
Yeah, I was just going to get round to that. The events for Europe's really, really suit Luke. So I think he'll be looking at that competition thinking, okay, if I miss the Arnold's and prepare properly, I've got a good chance of winning this one. And if you think in terms of long term, you know, his kind of, him as a brand, let's say, him winning Europe's is much better than, say, a 3rd, 4th, 5th at the UK Arnold. So I totally understand that. And then World's Strongest Man's very soon after. So we wish Luke the best for that. It's obviously disappointing for fans, but knowing Luke is probably still going to be there at the Arnold's. I'm not sure if they have a stand this year. They have done before, but we will try and find out for sure.
The Arnold's haven't announced whether or not Luke's going to be replaced, but based on a comment that Jan Todd made on our channel actually when we did the lineup announcement a couple of months ago, I don't think he will be, because the reason they're having 11 is because they have always paid for a reserve athlete to come out, and that athlete has trained and most times not been able to compete. So this year, rather than have the reserve, they had that 11th athlete in. So I think they're going to run with 10.
I think the one risk for the UK Arnold's being so close to the American Arnold is a number of the guys competing in America are doing the UK Arnold's, and it's what kind of shape they are in after that. So we may need to see some athletes come in. Maybe, I think if you're training and you want an opportunity, just keep training. But hopefully all the athletes get through the Arnold Strongman Classic injury-free. Giants Live announced this week that the tickets for Europe's Strongest Man have almost sold out. So if you want to see one of the premier shows, make sure you get booked in, because it is a fantastic one. And obviously, this is the competition, as we mentioned just now, that's only a few weeks before Worlds. So good chance to see what kind of shape a number of the athletes going to World's Strongest Man are going to be looking in.
It's an exciting lineup as well. You've got the 3 most recent Europe's Strongest Men winners there in Pavlo Kordiaka, Alexei Novikov and Luke Stolman, and also Mitch Hooper is doing this. It's his first time since 2019, I believe.
Him coming back to Giants Live, he's going to get a massive, massive reaction.
And just from us. So as we mentioned earlier, it's only 1 week out to the Arnolds now, which means the heaviest sessions are done. So we're just going to have a little look at some of the best numbers and lifts in the gym this last week, starting with Bobby Thompson, who hit a 430 kilo deadlift.
Yeah, Bobby Thompson's deadlift is looking better than ever right now. This is a PB for him in the gym. This is stronger than he was leading into the Arnolds last year. He is well on track to smash past that 1,000-pound pull.
And he won the deadlift last year at the Arnolds.
He did indeed. Some stiffer opposition this year, but he will definitely want to be right up there.
Martin's Lisses has also been deadlifting some nice numbers recently with a 425 kilo pull.
Yeah, Martin's very different type of deadlifter, much smoother in terms of the way he pulls, not quite as aggressive as some of the other athletes, but this is a big pull for Martin, showing us that he's back in shape. So
Thor Bjornsson made some last minute changes to his heavy deadlift week. He did 400 kilos for 3 reps for 2 sets. I must get that right.
Yeah, I think he had the option of doing 2 things depending on how he felt, and he decided not to go so heavy. 400 for 2 sets of 3, not so heavy. Yeah, his deadlift strength seems to have come back very, very fast. He is the favourite for the deadlift. He's looking fantastic. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to beat him as long as he makes sure he focuses, in my opinion, on winning the event rather than worrying about the record. I think the first important thing, win the event, then you can focus on the record afterwards.
Mitch Hooper has been up to his usual shenanigans in the gym this week, lifting a 212 kilo axle from the rack position.
Yeah, he sent me some training videos. He did 400 pounds from the floor for reps, which was very impressive. And yeah, from a rack, he put 212 kilos overhead. Really focused hard on his overhead. Right now, I've got to say he's probably looking like the favourite, although Tom Stolman looked extremely good in training as well, doing 400 pounds for 4 reps.
Yeah, and that was in 1 minute and 21 seconds.
Time limit's 2 minutes at the Arnolds. Yes. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but he is looking strong.
Really strong. Evan Singleton's been preparing hard for his first ever Arnold Strongman Classic. He's hit a 410 kilo deadlift in the gym, and also he did a frame carry, undisclosed weight, but he said it's heavier than competition weight, it's further than competition distance, and he looked pretty quick.
I've got to say his frame really, really looked impressive. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing Evan on the frame at the Arnolds. Yeah. His deadlift's great, but his frame carry, that is where this man can excel in this competition.
Lucas Hatton had a hell of a session this week, Lossie. He was log lifting and he did a 190 kilo log. So just to be clear, Lucas is doing the Arnold UK 2 weeks after next week's competition. But he hit a 190 kilo log for 7 singles. So he did describe his rest period. So it was from like 45 seconds, 15 seconds. Very interesting.
Yeah, very, very impressive.
Very strong.
Oh, hugely strong. I mean, his PB before this was just a shy over this weight. So to do 7 reps in the same session, he's looking good, and I'm sure he's looking forward to the Austrian Oak at the UK Arnolds.
Martin's Lisses has also been axle training. He posted this on the Wreck-It Gym YouTube channel, and he hit the 400-pound axle for 2 reps. Split jerk for Martin's.
Yeah, Martin's very technical. 2 reps on there. He'll probably want 3, I think, come comp day. So he looks capable. You've just got to make sure that clean is efficient as possible. It's all about what you can do now on the day. Recover as much as possible. The athletes want to hit their best when it counts.
So Oscar Ziolkowski is also competing at his first Arnolds this year. He was the winner of the amateur Arnolds last year, and he has been doing a 174 kilo axle in training. Oscar's definitely an underdog coming into this competition, isn't he?
Yeah, and the overhead is probably where he feels he can pick up some points, to be honest, especially against this strong lineup. But still needs a bit more. He's getting close to that competition weight. I'm sure he'll get it come comp day. And someone else that's been looking just crazy strong overhead, Bobby Thompson, did a 200 kilo log that looked like an absolute warm-up.
Lovely. And there's so much more we could talk about. I mean, Mateusz Kaliszkowski posted in deadlifts, a 380 kilo pull there. And also, I don't know if you saw the picture of him with Radzikowski with all these dinny type stones and handles.
He's been training hard.
Oh man, I can't wait. And finally, if you're a strongman or strongwoman looking to hit some PBs this year, Official Strongman have a record breakers show. So it's being held in Derry in Ireland, and it's on the 20th of April this year. Entries close for it next week, actually, so you're going to have to hurry. It's on the 29th of February, entries close. And they're doing a series of record breakers. There's also a deadlift and log lift championship there.
Yeah, so anyone can enter the deadlift and log lift championships. There's a chance to go and hit PBs, and then they're having record attempts on the axle lift, the monster dumbbell, the Atlas stones, the deadlift and the log lift. So it should be a great opportunity. Lots of different weight classes, different divisions, just, you know, very similar to OSG, but this one is just focused on records. There you have it, guys. That's what's been happening this week in Strongman. We'll bring you the results of the Strongman Champions League next week, and obviously it's the start of the Arnold, so we are looking forward to the build up of that one. We hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment, like the video, and we'll catch you guys next time.